Let's see if we still have a copy of it here. This is the matter that is before us on the floor of the United States Senate. It's entitled Save America Act. What this proposes to do is a dramatic change in registering to vote in America. Let me be specific. With this proposal, the proof that you have to present of your identity when you register to vote changes dramatically. When you look at the second page of this, they start listing what you have to bring in to prove that you are eligible to vote. The first suggestion is a passport. Well, half of the people in America, roughly half, own a passport and half do not. So if you decide that you want to get a passport to make sure that you or your son and daughter who's turned 18 get a chance to vote, how do you get a passport? Well, there's an agency of the government, the State Department, and you come and pay a filing fee of $165. You can get an expedited approval, a matter of days and weeks, for an additional $60, but it's basically $165 for a passport. Let me remind you, half of the people in the United States do not have a passport. Creating this as a standard in the election in November, can you imagine what's going to happen at the passport office? How many Americans register to vote each year? About 50 million. 50 million. How many passports are currently being issued by the Department of State without this law passing? 25 million. So you're going to triple the workload at the Department of State for people who want to be registered to vote in time for November. How is that going to work? No explanation. The second opportunity you have to prove you are really an American is to present your birth certificate. Problem. It turns out a substantial number of Americans don't have a birth certificate and have to obtain one. And secondly, there's a problem where the birth certificate reflects a maiden name of a woman before she was married or in a hyphenated relationship. And so there has to be a change made there. In each state, there is a cost and a time involved in that process. So this is supposed to make it easier to vote? No, not at all. What is it that has changed in America that makes us want to dramatically change the laws on registering to vote? Well, voter fraud, according to the other side of the aisle. People who are ineligible, they don't even profess to be Americans, they're going to try to vote. And you say to yourself, well, that must be a terrible problem. They say millions and millions and millions of people are involved in that. So let's take a look at the record. From 1999 into 2023, 24 years, do you have any idea how many people who didn't have American citizenship were prepared to violate the law and try to vote? Well, each year we're talking about some 50 million people registering, 24-year period of time. The number must be huge. 7 million? No. 700,000? No. 70,000? No. 700? No. The number is 77 people in 24 years. So the Republicans are proposing changing the law for everybody, no matter where you're from, no matter what your political affiliation may be, for a new standard of proof. It's not necessary. In fact, to charge $165 for a passport so I can prove I can vote is in the nature of a poll tax. What does the Supreme Court have to say about poll taxes? In a case of Harper versus Virginia Board of Elections, the United States Supreme Court declared that any poll tax was unconstitutional. The nation had already ratified the 24th Amendment, which declared citizens' right to vote in federal elections, quote, shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state by reason of failure to pay any poll tax or other tax. The Harper case involved the poll tax in the state of Virginia. The Supreme Court threw it out. Do you know how much the poll tax was in Virginia when this case was decided? $1.50. Now compare that to going out to buy to have a passport issued to you and paying $165. That's a lot of gasoline, $165. In striking this fee down, Justice William Douglas said, the right to vote is too precious, too fundamental to be conditioned on whether somebody has $1.50 in their pocket. Yet the Republicans are trying to make this the basic standard, a passport, the most acceptable standard under their bill.